It's Lucy and JD. Hi! And today should be Wednesday. It's not Wednesday right now. It's Sunday right now, but we can only film in the dead of night when the children are sleeping.
Because otherwise, all you'll hear... Get off my thing, stop, give me my toy! Yeah, it's horrible. Mm-hmm. Okay, today we are talking about...
misconceptions from new parents. Medical misconceptions. This is very specific.
Yeah. Misinformation is horrible.
And it's a crime.
Probably.
But it's probably not, and that's why it's so much of it.
Yeah.
But we're here to help because we are seasoned parents, veterans of this rodeo.
Yes, sir.
We've been doing this parenting thing for quite some time now.
A little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit.
And while we have made our share of mistakes, we've learned from them, had a lot of advice from doctors, and I think that makes us more than qualified to tell you how to live your life.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, if politicians can do it and religious leaders can do it, we can do it too.
So listen to us.
Because we have a camera. We don't have a British accent though, see?
I would do one, but I probably sound like an idiot.
Mine's horrible.
So yeah, let's talk about mistakes new parents make.
Let's give them
medically.
background. Let's give them background first.
Okay.
So yeah, we're going to talk about these mistakes. But first, I'm a father of 4. I have a boy in Japan, and a boy and 2 girls here in Arkansas. 2 girls are with her. She has 3 girls. So we both came in with other children. The battery died on the camera, so we had to cut over. So the first thing you wanted to talk about was the fevers?
Yeah, fevers. There's a lot of misconceptions going around for parents about when to medicate and when to take your child to the doctor and when to rush them to the emergency room for a fever. I have a background in child care. So
and a foreground.
My whole life is child care, basically. So I've seen this a lot. First of all, what is a fever? Well, it's not a fever until it's over 99.5. So just because little Timmy is running like 99.3 and a little bit crabby, don't give them Tylenol. They don't need it.
Don't need it. Yeah. Your brain doesn't start cooking until you hit like 105, 106.
Speaking of when your brain starts cooking, don't rush your child to the hospital just because their fever is up above 102 or 103. Now, we had an incident a couple years ago, right around the time we first got together, where the oldest started having serious high fevers, and it turned out to be a really, really, really bad bladder infection. And so she was running fevers of like 104, 105, stuff like that. So I'm very familiar with that level of panic. Like, oh my god, we're gonna be brain damaged because their fever is too high. And in talking to the doctor during this whole thing, I got some very good advice, and that is don't take them to the hospital until their fever hits 104 or higher and stays there.
And you can't get it down.
Yeah, you have to first medicate. Give them some Tylenol. Wrap a nice cool rag around their neck, or a tepid bath is good. Strip them naked, take their blankets. We're back.
Yeah.
So, yeah, cool them down, and then if it stays down, that's great. You don't have to worry about it. Take them to the doctor a couple days later, the next day, whenever you can get an appointment, but don't rush them to the emergency room. Now, if it does not stay down, like you read the fever at 104, dose them with Tylenol, and it either goes down and comes back up or doesn't go down at all, that's emergency room worthy. They want to see you for that. Also, alternate your Tylenol and Motrin. like one, and then in a couple hours the other, and then when it's time for the next dose of Tylenol, do the Tylenol, and then when it's time for the next dose of Motrin, do that. And you alternate them, and it keeps the fever down. Well, other thing is, don't automatically give Tylenol for a fever right away, because your body has to fight it off. That's your body's natural response to being sick. If you kill the fever, you're not going to kill whatever germs they're trying to fight off. So what you do is, what I do is I let it ride. A lot of times I don't get Tylenol until it gets up to about 103, and then it's, okay, now we'll medicate you, because that's uncomfortable territory.
Too much fever.
Yeah. But, yeah, let the fever go. Let it do its thing, because that's nature's way of fixing it.
There's no cruise control for it. I know it's annoying, you have to monitor it. But the doctor's not going to do it.
Yeah.
Like, you probably won't even, like, you might see a doctor for 2 seconds if you go to the ER with that.
Yeah.
The doctor will come in, check a few things, and then leave. And then the nurse or whoever will come back and be like, all right, do this, this, and this. And this, we were told this before. If you ask while you're in delivery, like if you're expecting, ask them about this stuff, before you go home. They're going to tell you the same thing. Maybe they'll give you a phone number that you can call and, be like, hey, we got a fever. They're going to ask you some questions, and we've done that too, and you get the same thing pretty much. All right, we'll just watch it and do this. That you got to be on top of it. That's all it is.
So that leads into the next thing, is antibiotics. You don't need to take them, all the time. I'm cool with antibiotics, but only very rarely. I can count the amount of times my kids have had antibiotics. Because if you give them too often, they stop working. The great thing about antibiotics is they're wonderful for certain things.
Kidney infection.
Yeah, my daughter has a very bad problem with getting kidney infections and bladder infections. Antibiotics are wonderful for that. But she can't have it too often, and we have to absolutely make sure it's a kidney infection before she gets antibiotics. Otherwise, you develop antibiotic-resistant germs, and then it does no good. And then the fever and the kidney infection and the stuff just gets worse because the antibiotics aren't treating it. Now, the thing to remember about antibiotics is they're very specifically targeted to what they're treating. So you can't just give them for every single thing. There's broad-spectrum antibiotics like penicillin that treat a wide variety of things, and there's antibiotics that only treat certain things.
And doctors have started, the ones I deal with, they have started mentioning this too. When I was younger, it was,
Oh yeah, hand them out like candy.
But now doctors are like, yeah, no, you don't need to, here's a steroid cream that you can put on, something like that. You don't need an antibiotic. You can take ibuprofen if it gets painful, or some anti-inflammatory thing.
Yeah. I've actually switched doctors before because they were trying to give me antibiotics for one of my kids, and it was like, no, I know this isn't an antibiotic thing. You're just trying to get me out of your room. On to the next thing, which involves a doctor. Some of them are idiots.
Yeah, there was a surgeon. He was a British surgeon. I'm pretty sure he was, probably in England. That's an assumption, though. Yeah. We're going on to the vaccinations causing autism myth.
Basically, the whole vaccines are a bad thing.
Yeah. It is a myth. It is a myth. All right. The origin of that myth is a 1997 study by Andrew Wakefield. I'll have a link in the description. I might have a link right in this area. Probably not. It'll be in the description for sure. He was a British surgeon. The study was published in a medical journal called the Lancet.
It's a weird name for a medical journal.
Yeah, Lancet, Lancet. I think I'm saying that right. All right.
Yeah, it's a thing that you stab your finger with to get blood.
Ah, I didn't know that.
That's why I said it was a weird name.
I'm technical, not medical background. The paper was discredited due to procedural errors, undisclosed financial conflicts, and ethics violations. this doctor, Andrew Wakefield, the surgeon, he's a surgeon. I mean, all doctors are doctors, of course. They start off, basic training's probably the same. He lost his medical license, and the paper has been retracted. It was retracted. It didn't say in the article, but again, links to sources of my info will be in the description, and then you're free to Google.
Please.
Google Andrew Wakefield.
Now, this myth, he started it, but was perpetuated by Jenny McCarthy, whose son turns out to have not had autism at all. I don't remember what he had, but he was re-diagnosed later on down the line, and it's not autism.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know
so
this.
she didn't retract any of her stuff, but she's not a doctor, first of all,
Yeah.
and she wasn't even dealing with autism.
There's no board of ethics to go back and fix her mistakes.
So here's the thing. First of all, vaccines protect those who are medically weak. So if your child has cancer or some reason like a allergy, there's kids with allergies to eggs who can't have vaccines.
Compromised immune systems.
Anything like that. Herd immunity is what's protecting them. So by not getting vaccines, you're compromising the herd immunity and putting people at risk who can't get vaccines. The other thing is really having a kid with autism is not that bad. That you would rather have like innocent people die or your own child. Like, I don't get that one at all. I've worked with a lot of children with autism in school, and I would rather have that than like measles, mumps, or rubella just going crazy all over the place.
My view on it is straight up, if you don't want to be a part of society, you don't want to drive the speed limit, you don't want to get vaccinations, you don't want to be a part of the herd, of the pack, that is fine. That is awesome. Go buy some land somewhere and get a commune together. Oh yeah, that always ends badly because it's full of crazy people. You see where that goes? Like every time every Waco.
One small poxy blanket and the whole thing goes down.
Someone loses their shit.
Okay, the other thing, a lot of people tend to take their kids to the doctor for stomach bugs, flus, anything that gets them puking and pooping and things. And you always get worried about your kid's going to get dehydrated. There's an easy way to check for that if they are under 16 months old. That is very simply the soft spot. You'll notice when you take your child in, the doctor will sit there and kind of rub on their... Let me show you. They'll sit there and while they're taking care of your child, this is one of the kids' babies, they'll sit there and rub over and over again and pinch their hands and squeeze their fingers. And that's because they're looking for dehydration. So what you want to do is glide your hand over the top of their head where the soft spot is. If it feels dipped in, and it's really easy to tell if it's dipped in, don't press, just glide over the top. Glide, don't press. If it's dipped in, they're probably dehydrated. Also, if you squeeze their fingernails and the color doesn't come back right away, or you pinch the back of their hand and the skin doesn't automatically bounce back, then they're probably dehydrated and it's time to worry. But otherwise, just give them a popsicle and keep pushing fluids and wait it out.
True.
That's all you can do.
As long as they're eating and drinking and not throwing it immediately back up. And yeah, I think that's good.
Yeah. As long as it's going in. That's all they care about.
Always ask your doctor too.
Yeah.
If you know.
We're not medical professionals, but I'm just saying this could save you a lot of time.
And money if you go to the ER. ERs aren't cheap.
No.
Yeah. And yeah. If you're like us and in debt, that doesn't help.
And as a parent who has had to wrestle a child down to get an IV in, trust me on this, the Pedialyte popsicle is so much easier.
Oh my god.
So much easier.
The hate and distrust, man.
Oh gosh, yeah, she didn't talk to me for a while. She was mad. But yeah, again, that was with the infection thing, and it was bad. It was IV antibiotics, so
all right,
it was nasty.
And do we have one more?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think that's all of it. That pretty much all the new parent stuff they warn you about.
I'm going, and just real quick on the vaccine one, I noticed on the topic that will be in the link, it talks about toxins in vaccines like mercury and other stuff.
I could do a whole video on toxins.
Yeah, we probably will do a video on toxins, but quite simply, the level, like, all right, nicotine is a toxin. It will kill, insects. It used to be used in pesticides. But we can smoke cigarettes and such and receive that nicotine. It will kill us if we get the right amount. Just like caffeine can kill certain...
Just like water can kill you if you drink too much of it.
It's the levels of it. So, I mean, the CDC has a topic that I read over that addresses that as well. I'll link that too.
And the thing to remember, my handy helpful hint for if you are worried about having too many toxins in your body, it's a life hack. How to get rid of toxins from your body. And it's have a functioning liver.
If you don't got that, see a doctor.
Yeah.
All right, comment down there.
Tell us how wrong we are about everything, because you know you want to.
Subscribe if you want to see more stuff that we make up on the spot.
Mm.
But we didn't make this up. But
no.
We will eventually make up stuff and just see if you get it, and then like or dislike. But let us know something.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Bye.